How did Cannabis Corpse come about?
That was like, I guess 2 years ago, I was living in this neighborhood called Oregon Hill, and we had this like old like Civil War house. It was like a 2-bedroom place. Me and my roommate lived there, and then halfway through the year, Phil Hall and his brother Josh Hall, they both moved in after Josh got out of school. They moved into this like little hallway thing that was, we basically had like 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom, and then this like off the hallway was a hallway that was like 9 feet long, and they stayed in the hallway, like 2 dudes, which was like pretty outrageous. It was 2 brothers staying in this like little hallway, and they just had a laptop and like 2 cots, and they'd hang out in the kitchen and like use their recording unit to just like demo out sweet death metal. And then they recorded all of it and were like, hey, do you want to like put down some vocals on it? And I was like, sure. Never intended, like, they didn't buddy Tim Harwich, he had just started Force Field Records. He was like, hey man, I'd love to put out this Blended at Birth demo or whatever album. I guess it was like almost 30 minutes, so we just like did it as an album and an LP. And he put it out, and then we were like, dude, we got to keep doing some more of this. Like, people are pretty stoked, and we had fun doing it. So we just kept like jocking Cannibal Corpse riffs and put out another album. So that's how that started. It was just kind of like taking up, spare time that we had. We were like, Phil and Josh, like, are fucking gearheads for like 90s death metal, like they're like generic death metal too, like all the stuff that's just like pounding, like Benediction, all the old, just like fucking tough death metal shit. And they were like, man, I'd love to play a band like that. And I guess like a long time ago, probably like 2000 or 2001, they had played like 1 gig as Cannabis Corpse at one point, where it was just pretty much like covers of Cannibal Corpse songs, but they changed the words. And they did a few songs like that, and then like it lay dormant forever, and then they just started writing new stuff. And so originally it was just like the 2 Hall brothers, and then they brought me in to do some vocals, and then they brought in 2 other guys to do a song each for the first album. And then it stuck with that, and we picked up a good buddy of ours, Nick Polis, who plays in this bitchin' band called Parasitic. He agreed to do guitars, and we played a few gigs with it, like as a 4-piece. And after that, we got Tube of the Resonated finished up and put out, and that's when we're like, man, we gotta get another guitarist so we can have bitchin' solos. And so we got this dude Vic, who's like reeling all those like Jacko and ripping shred solos. And Vic from Battlemaster joined up, and we played like 2 or 3 gigs with Vic so far, and it's awesome. We're all together, like to practice a lot, keep it tight, and all good friends on top of that. So pretty pumped to have it working like that.
Who came up with the art concept for the Cannabis Corpse album? I mean, there's obviously the cover, but on the inside you've got the 4-page like fold-out sleeve with the dude. It's awesome.
Like Where's Waldo?
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome. Actually all the credit goes to Barf for that one.
My favorite's the dinosaur.
That boy face. Like, smoking the joint with his tongue. Yeah, I love that. That's like my favorite thing that's come out of all the like playing music, like art-wise. It's like this guy Jim Callahan did that, and that's all his idea. And he's a great cartoonist and works with comic books a lot. He does like a lot of indie comic books. His name again is Jim Callahan, and he goes by Barf. But he just released Barf Comics 1, which is like a collection of all his like out of print stuff and hard to find stuff, and then like a lot of his album artwork stuff. He's done like other bands. He's done a lot for like Municipal Waste, and who else he's done? He did some album cover for Down to Nothing. That's like a hardcore band from Richmond. Anyway, Barf's stuff is like super clean and like really explosive and violent, and we were like, Barf, can you do something? It's tongue in cheek too, so we're like, Barf's the perfect guy to do this. And he did some artwork for us with like the Smoking Back to Life, and there's 1 of 2 buds on a couch smoking people. He did those 2, and then he did that poster that's inside the LP. So that's all his idea, and he did a great job. Super stoked.
What does Cannibal Corpse think of you guys, dude?
Well, that's cool. from what I understand, they think it's awesome. They think it's hilarious, and they like it a lot. I got the pleasure of meeting Alex Webster and Paul, and I met them back on like a Ozfest or a Sounds of the Underground tour or something. But I think Municipal Waste was playing it, and Phil brought me back there. I got to hang out backstage when that was going down. And Cannibal, they were sharing the same Cannibal Corpse, so he was like, dude, come back here. We gotta go meet these guys. And I met Corpse Grinder too, who I worship his vocals, but he's like, met him for a second. It was just kind of a handshake, but I did actually get to talk with Alex and Paul for a second about like, hey, yeah, we're playing Cannabis Corpse, and he was like, oh, no way, I've got Blood into the Birth. Like, that's sweet. He's like, and he kept saying it. He's like, man, it sounds good. The music's brutal, and I guess that's like the bottom line from like, being so familiar with Cannibal Corpse for a long time. It's like that's the bottom line with all their music. There, whenever they try to write a record, they're like, you got to make it brutal. Like, of course, like overused word nowadays, but Cannibal Corpse has always been like brutal and brutal. Like, as long as it's heavy, they call it all heavy and brutal. So.
How much weed do you really smoke?
I don't know. I try to keep it on the regs. I work for the FBI now, so I work at a comic shop, so it's pretty chill to be able to just like sort comics or whatever, or do internet research or whatever while you're stony. So I definitely am not like an over smoker, but I keep it pretty regular. It's pretty it's regular enough there. It's just definitely not a dude that's sitting on his couch like 8 hours a day, just like pumping on a bong and like wasting away in front of the TV. I hate that. It's like keeping a bong right by the TV, and then people just like sit there and waste away. I'd rather be like smoking weed on the fly and be outside doing something, or, like smoking weed at like night when there's like a sweet show going on. Like I really like watching doom bands play and shit, like all stoned out. Speaking of which, that exact scenario happened recently with a band from Kansas called Samoth Race, which I got plug. That was my sweetest like doom experience in a while as far as new bands.
They played here.
Yeah, they killed it. That's some good stony music.
Where do you see like metal music in general in the next, I don't know, say 10 years?
I don't know. I guess like people are always gonna advance it and whatnot. It seems kind of like it'll lull. Like there's a lot of bands like Cannibal Corpse where it's not like pushing like any new ground or anything, but it seems like a lot of throwback stuff going on right now, which may seem to some who are like progressive metal, not like progressive metal, but like progressively thinking metal dudes might be like, man, that just proves that ideas are running out, or people are just rehashing, or there's no talent anymore. It's like, well, whatever, dude. It's pretty much like the reason I like metal is because of the energy or whatever, and like listening to some like killer tunes and all the energy that's involved that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if you catch my drift, it's kind of like the whole spirit behind like metal fever and like love of metal. So I think as long as there's people that are like, as long as there's like people that come together like metal, there's going to be like more ideas put out and more like ripping. Metal will be more ripping and pummeling and pestilent and like crippling 10 years from now. Hopefully it'll be 10 years age, so it'll hopefully people won't be like throwing back to stuff like from like 5 years ago, and it'll be like
throwing back to throwback.
Like everybody jocks Life of Agony. Oh dude, like no way. Like classic rock bands that are playing Lamb of God songs or something like that. Be all hokey, but no, I think metal's got a safe future. It really just depends on the metal heads. So as long as you keep shit like going forward and
fresh,
there's so many people playing in bands now too, and the internet and whatnot. It's like there's a billion bands, anybody can do it. So it's fun. Why don't you do it? You should do it. It's fun. Who knows? Maybe you'll get to tour a whole bunch, travel the world. Maybe you won't.